everybody. It's me, the Beach and I'm sitting here with Donovan. His heart don't pump no Kume Sadiq. And this is the second edition of Don't Believe the Hype, where we ask you to go beneath the surface of everything that you've been hearing to see if it's true for yourself. You know, go past the memes and, everything else that's out there. Like, do some digging. It'll take you like a couple seconds just to, verify if it's true. So anyway, speaking of which, as you guys have heard, the whole, what do you call it? Case of, I guess you could say. It's the nicest thing I can think of, with Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett is the actor from Empire. He's also a musician. January, the gay Tupac. So in January, I think it was 22nd or so, he said that he was accosted by two white men wearing MAGA hats and trench coats. And they put a rope around his neck and poured bleach on him as he was walking at 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago when it was during their cold snap. It was extra cold outside. He's out there going to Subway, and these guys came up to him and say, "Hey, are you that," and this is their words, not mine, "that faggot from Empire?" And then, they commenced to putting the rope on him and splashing the bleach on him, in addition to calling him a nigger and all this other stuff. So, of course, the story comes out. He's laid up in the hospital. He's beat up or whatever the case is. And all hell breaks loose. Everybody's going in, oh, my gosh, poor Jussie, this, that, and the other. Well, as you guys know, it is now unraveling for Jussie that he was lying. He lawyered up. And I forget the lawyer. He got some other big-time lawyers, what he got. And so he lawyered up because the story has come out that he's lying, for lack of better words. At first, the Chicago PD was saying, well, we're not going there yet, saying that he's lying. We just, want to get the phone records, which at first he wouldn't allow them to have his phone. Then he gave him a redacted phone log of some calls. Redacted means that he took out some things like the names and stuff of who he was calling.
Harvey Weinstein's on the list.
Of course, slowly but surely they're getting to the bottom of it. And so the last couple of days or so, they flat out said, he's lying. And that we found out he hired two Nigerian guys that actually worked on the set with him on Empire. And it said that...
Cocoa Butter Brothers.
Yeah, it was some fine brothers too. Okay, but anyway, I digress. That it's also said that Jussie paid, they said, they being the Nigerian brothers.
They're like, we're not going down for this bullshit.
Right. That he actually paid them $3,000 to concoct this scenario with them. And they, I guess, spent some time acting it out, like rehearsing it, if you will, like they were on Empire. So it's come out that he's lying, and as you said, he's lawyered up because now it's not looking really good for him. Empire slashed some of his roles and parts and stuff due to the revelation of his story. And it's just that, a story. And I want to say this before I go into my talking points. I never once believed Jussie. Right. This just, as I said on the show Sunday, it was just the perfect storm. The perfect scenario. Okay. So you have this pot, right? You're a witch. You're going to make a witch's brew. You have this pot. Okay, we need to make the perfect formula. Okay, what are we going to throw in there? We're going to throw in some racism. Then we're going to throw in some gay slurs. And then we're going to throw in some MAGA hats, because they was wearing MAGA hats and they was talking about it's MAGA country as they were beating his butt, is what he was saying. So we're going to throw in some MAGA hats, some MAGA country, two white dudes, and, a rope, because you can't forget the rope. You got to have a rope, because people are walking around in Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning on a cold snap with a rope looking for a nigga lynch. So when I heard all those things, I was like, all right, I'm going to just be quiet. Because sometimes you just got to be quiet and just wait for it. And then sure enough, it came out that, dude pretty much made all this stuff up. Now, why did he make this stuff up? It said because, well, two reasons I heard. I don't know how true any of it is. One is that he was in fear of getting written off the show Empire, and so he had to stay relevant, draws attention to him. And then the other one was, I guess a couple of weeks before that, somebody sent him something in an envelope, some white powder, threatening him, if you will. And so he felt like that wasn't getting enough attention. And so he needed to go a little deeper, with the scenario. And so, all right, so I said all of that to say, I want to, kind of give you guys the backstory of what I'm about to say. So during this time when Jussie was the victim, and he called himself the gay Tupac because he was basically like, I'm a gangster at something he was speaking.
I'm a gangster that likes to
listen. Stop right there. Stop right there. Okay. Stop right there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Because you was going to go a little bit too far.
I was about to make a rhyme.
He's about to go too far. But So while he was going through all of that in the world, you know, you've seen all these memes and drawings of a rope around his neck fashioned after the American flag, and he's on the ground, he's crying, and, you know, justice for Jussie. Everybody and their mama wanted justice for Jussie, which rightfully so if it was true. Listen, if it was true, right on. Justice for Jussie. However, it turns out that it wasn't true. But in the midst of all of that, you know who got the blame for this?
Who?
Well, not necessarily the blame for what happened to him, but you know who the blame shifted on? Black men.
How so?
Well, let me go to a lot of screenshots that I took of a few articles that were written about you guys, you being black men. Okay? And these articles read stuff like Jussie Smollett's attack and the dangers of straight black men's silence. Okay? And I'll get into all that in a minute. I just want to read a couple of them, the articles that kind of put you guys out there. Another one says, dear straight black men, you cannot choose your outrage in Jussie's, situation. Okay? Where's straight blacks and white gays fell Jussie Smollett? Let's see. There's a couple of them. And this one says, straight black men's silence on Jussie Smollett's homophobic and racist attack is dangerous. Okay? Dear straight black men, you cannot choose your outrage in, and I said that Jussie Smollett's assault. And then, so here's a couple of tweets from, as some people say, Shea Butter Twitter, and that's supposed to be like these black feminists and, gay black dudes who just don't like anybody outside of themselves, for lack of better words, okay? So this dude, I won't give his name, but he says, anyone trying to ignore the fact that Jussie Smollett is both black and gay needs to sit down. This was a racially motivated homophobic attack. They called him racial slurs and homophobic ones. He carries both identities, and white supremacists made it a point to target both. Okay? That was a black dude. And then this chick says, do not separate Jussie Smollett's blackness from his queerness here. He was attacked just because he was black, nor was he wasn't attacked just because he was black, nor was he attacked because he is gay. He was attacked because he is both black and gay at the same time. And I'll read another one. Why is it so hard for black men to admit Jussie Smollett was attacked for being both black and gay? Both racism and homophobia were at play there, period. Okay? And so the in-depth, and some of these articles, they went in depth of why they're saying this, because they're saying, some celebrities, they called out Steve Harvey and Tyrese and a couple other people saying, well, yeah, they went on their Twitter and stuff saying, basically, I'm paraphrasing, well, we're praying for Jussie, they attacked one of ours being a black man. And so the black media is saying, well, you guys are ignoring the fact that he's gay.
I also believe Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker were like, oh my God, it's such a tragedy, right. whatever. What have they said since this stuff has come out?
It's been really silent, and just from what I see, I'm not saying nobody has said, hey, we're going to do retraction here. Okay. But I want to say for them that they owe you guys, straight black men, an apology, because they wanted to shoulder you guys with this nonsense that turned out to be a lie. But my thing is, why is this black men's fault? I mean, it's almost like this thing that if you're a straight black man and you are, because why can't, he can be proud to be a gay black man, but if you're proud to be a straight black man, then it's an issue. Well, no, you need to acknowledge, all the things that gay black men go through, and he's both gay and black. It's like, listen, I know about being black. I don't know about being gay. Right. And so I'm not saying anything bad about being gay, but that's not my level of expertise.
Or would it be best to say you don't speak on things you don't know?
Right,
wouldn't that be the entire?
Yeah, but if the fact that I said I'm praying for you, we hope you get them, and they attack one of us. Why can't that be enough? Why can't it just be? Why do you need to throw in the fact that you didn't mention that he was gay? I mean, hell, he stood up and told everybody. We knew. I mean, I don't even watch Empire, but I know that his character on Empire is gay, and he's gay actually in real life.
Okay, I have gay friends, and I have friends that are disabled. Okay. The one thing I know about them is they do not want to be treated any different than anybody that is what you call normal or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I know I'm using the wrong paraphrase here. So why would I even let that be an issue if I'm talking to somebody who's who's of the
Well,
LGBTQ LMNOP community.
And honestly, I don't even think it's your issue to have.
Right.
I just think, and then this is probably where I'm getting a little bit of trouble.
Get in trouble, bro.
With,
Get in trouble.
No. With the LGBTQ plus community, is that some of y'all have turned into straight up Nazis. You have. Like, if people don't agree with you, then you try to demonize them. You try to make them wrong. Like, I can see if the straight men, black men were, saying bad things, that. Okay, then I can see where you have an issue. But the fact that they didn't acknowledge it, why is that a problem?
Right.
A lot of people, hell, to one article's point, gay white people didn't acknowledge it either.
Right. As a non-feminist, I don't acknowledge what women go through. Why should I?
Well, my thing is, as long as you're not speaking ill of something or something, that's fine. But I didn't say anything and I'm still in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, golly, a couple months ago, people was taking Kevin Hart to task because he was making jokes, about gay people.
Years ago.
It cost him the Oscar thing. And it just, 10 years ago, some of these comments. And then you have black men who don't say nothing about gay people and you're still getting it. So it's like, task. Are you just mad with black men who are straight? Are you just, because I can understand if you're just mad and you don't like black men and you want to find something to blame them for. But like I said, you have
join the party, pal.
But you have both examples. Kevin Hart, who said something, he apologized up the wazoo 152 times. I'm sorry. Still wasn't good enough. Black men didn't say nothing about him being gay. It's just like, so tell us what we need to be doing here.
Right.
Right. And then so another thing, I'm not too well versed on this, but from what I understand, my daughter's telling me that black people are now mad at Cardi B because Cardi B said that Jussie Smollett ruined Black History Month. And I said, no, he didn't ruin Black History Month. If anything, he ruined Gay Pride Month.
Okay.
Because that's, because he was, I'm sure he said he was black, but the whole, the thing that got the most attention was him being gay.
Right. But my thing in regards to Cardi B, why should she give a damn? She doesn't identify as black.
Well, she will tell you.
I'm Dominican, but I'm from the Puerto Rico. No, she never identifies as black.
I'm not saying she does. I don't know if she does or not.
No, she doesn't.
But
she'll tell you in a minute she's not.
Yeah,
black.
so I don't know why she felt the need to speak up. Like I said, I'm not that well versed into what caused her to do it.
I just get tired of people who aren't in the culture telling us how the culture.
Well, not to talk about Cardi B, but if you think about it, she may not be in the culture like the black experience culture. But she's making a lot of money off the culture.
Of course. Everybody does. The Vietnamese do it. The Arabs do it. Everybody does
Cardi B is like it.
But she is not
culture.
black. She'll tell you she's not black.
Okay, well, I'm not saying... Listen, I don't have a dog in the fight if she's green. It don't make me no difference.
Right.
But the point that I'm making is she's saying that he ruined Black History Month. I'm like, okay. If you ask me, I think he ruined Gay Pride Month because that's on them.
Yeah, no, I think Jennifer Lopez ruined Black History Month.
You stupid.
That Motown thing.
Like that?
I didn't even see it, but from what I heard,
it
was pretty bad. So to me, that ruins.
Yeah, it left a lot to be desired. But,
cultural appropriation.
Yeah. Well, what's new? But so as far as... I really believe, but I'm waiting to see if these news outlets, and it was BET, it was Vibe, it was, a couple other...
White outlets owned by...
owned by white people. It was these outlets who demonize straight black men. And so I'm wondering, when are they going to come with a retraction or an apology?
Oh, no. You never apologize to black men no matter what happens.
Are you listening? We wrote these,
untrue stories.
Very bad articles about you guys, and we just want to say we're sorry.
Right. Even if you put it on page 8.
Right. Or right in the back. in the back. Where it says, where does it say correction?
Yes. The obituaries.
Yeah,
right.
Right. Put it back there, just so you did it, But it was just like, these straight black men, they're so toxic, and it's toxic. Like, what the fuck is toxic masculinity? I keep hearing that, and I guess it exists. I just started hearing about it, like, in the last couple of months. Excuse me, I might live under a rock. But I'm like, what is that? Is that now some term to... I don't know. I'm ignorant to that. I would agree. I'm ignorant to what that is. But so now we have that being overused, the toxic masculinity. Then you have the straight black men not rooting for gay black men. And it's like, straight black men got enough on their plate.
Right. Now, in regards to...
Gay black men got a lot of people rooting for them. I mean, look at, not to cut you off,
Yeah, go ahead.
you can be on Facebook or any other entity and you see, you know...
The feminization of the black
Yeah, black dudes run around with wigs and black women especially, we kiki and ha-ha and oh, he's so funny, oh, I just love him. And, you know, and he mimicking, you know, ratchet, stupid acting black women. And so it's like gay black dudes got a lot of people on their team.
Yes.
Straight black dudes now need somebody on you guys' team. I'm just saying. And I know some, you know, people will probably come on here and say, I need this, you know, what they call it, a pick-me girl. That's some shit they call you too when you don't agree with their feminazi attitudes. They call you, you just want to be picked. Listen, boo, I got a man. I only need to be picked by one.
Right, feminazi. I never heard of that term.
Yeah.
Feminazi.
That's what they are. So
wow.
I'm
so
done.
I mean, but do you think that you know, what is his motive for doing that?
You know, because I don't know Jussie, but if I had to like put my brain power to it, I just really think Jussie probably saw his flame going out a little bit, and he's like, hey, I got to be relevant up in here. But my thing is, like,
And I hear a lot of stars are doing that too.
yeah, and I'm gonna set some shit up to be the victim.
That they're gonna make a stand, like, you know, just to stay
Because
relevant.
nobody has a bleeding heart like those of the ones for gay rights stuff. That's why gay people, no shade to gay people, as you said, I have gay family members. I know gay people. I love them to death and all that. But, you know.
I pray for them to death.
Stop.
You know?
I mean, I don't care. You screw who you want to screw.
No, exactly. But I pray for them.
I don't care.
Yeah,
you know,
I pray.
I don't pray for them because if that's who you are, that's just who you are. I mean, I don't care if you change. It doesn't do me no good or bad if you change or you don't change.
As a Christian, I'm supposed to pray for those.
Well, I ain't a Christian. So
there you go. That says it all. That says it all.
Right, but listen, you know, I just
don't see the motivation.
The motivation is, I think he saw his little star.
But now he's completely out of Hollywood.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, he thought it was gonna work. And listen, I do a lot of thinking about crimes. Not that I'm trying to commit one, so don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to commit a crime.
This ain't like O.J. Simpson where he was known and he's got connections and he's been in there.
But my thing is this. We watched enough for our First 48 and all those detective crime shows to know, get you a burner phone.
Oh, yikes.
Get you a burner phone.
Get your burner phone, exactly.
Why is you calling to help? You know, the people you in cahoots with on your regular phone.
You know, I'm kind of glad you're bringing that because I'm tired of seeing...
I mean, 2 chickens with pigeons with a note on their feet or something.
I'm tired of seeing these shows where they keep falling for, you know, stuff that you should know. You know what I mean? Like a burner phone. I mean, there's so many shows out there where it's like, you know, the first thing they're going to do is track the cell phone records and the tower pings.
I mean, you work with them on the set. Say, come to this dressing room real quick. Okay, after we get done here, after we wrap, meet me over here at this cafe. What's Stevie want to say on his part-time lover? Listen to the lyrics to that.
Right.
And listen, I ain't never cheated. I'm not telling you to cheat. But if you was ever thinking about
yes.
But I'm saying if you was ever to be cheated on, listen to that song like 10 times and listen to the rap Stevie was putting down. He says, when you get, because I don't know the lyrics, but he says, call once, hang up the phone to let me know you made it home. I don't want nothing to be wrong with my part-time lover. So basically what he was saying, this is what Stevie didn't say.
Coding.
He didn't say, look, boo, text me 400 times every day, email me, call me. He didn't say, leave a paper trail that me and you've been tricking off together. He says, listen, just hang up once, I'm going to know that's you.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You know, like people have the secret knock, okay, that's Jim, gonna let him in. You know?
Right. Or, you know, remember back in your old dorm days in college, you leave the tie on the doorknob that lets you know you have company in there?
Me and Mrs. Jones. What did he say? We meet at the same cafe. Same time, you know, and if I ain't gonna be there, I'm gonna send Jimbo over, you know, to give it a coo-coo-coo-coo-coo-coo. And that means I ain't showing up. But I'm not gonna be, you know, like I tell people all the time, I've been cheated on. My ex-husband his thing probably is rotted off by now due to all the cheating he's done. And I've had tests, so I'm good, okay? But I used to catch him through ATM, what do you call it? Bank statements and stuff.
Right, and he's a Chicago man, right?
Listen, don't get me. No, I ain't trying to listen. Chicago people
No,
don't play.
no, exactly.
So y'all
no.
want y'all to direct that toward him.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, a lot of my friends who have dated Chicago men say the same type of stuff. You know,
I just had to guess. Oh, I guess.
you know, they have their game.
I guess.
I
I
don't
can
know
only
if it's an
speak
old
to the
man
one that
thing.
I
Right.
was with.
Okay.
And he got caught by paper trails.
Trail.
Leaving a copious amount of paper trails everywhere. It was phone records. It was
Wasn't me.
bank.
Wasn't me.
All that.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, right. All that. No. Okay, Negro, you said he was a truck driver too. You told me you was in Georgia, but you swiping over here in North Carolina.
Wasn't me.
And the same
my
day you're
cousin.
supposed to be right.
I gave a
lost
card to my
main card
cousin.
and so
No, I gave my cousin. You know, that's the,
all that nonsense. But so what I'm saying, Jussie, next time you want to commit a crime,
you gotta think it out.
call me. I mean, not that I'm
Right.
trying to give you criminal
Well,
advice, but
there's a show, How to Commit the Perfect Murder, on TV.
which really ain't no such thing because people talk too much.
Yeah, they
I
talk
mean,
too
and,
much.
you know, not to disclose what happened, but we saw a crime take place just a few minutes ago before we came on here, and the person thought they was being funny
Right.
by posting it to Facebook.
Only in the black community have I ever seen idiots post their crimes on Facebook like it's funny and like there's going to be no repercussions.
we gonna see about that.
Yes, absolutely.
We gonna see about that.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
And
so
and we're dealing with the wrong one.
the right one, baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so it's just like I don't know what Jussie's motive was. I would have to speculate that it was to stay relevant. I'd imagine, you know, if you are in Hollywood, it'd probably be hard for you because you hear about a lot of stars when their star does fade, that they end up doing drugs and
Yeah.
they end up dying of alcoholism. Just you know the
There's-
nonsense.
There is only one star that I know of that did a heinous crime and made a living off of it.
Who?
Afterward. You
Which
don't,
one?
You don't remember?
There's a few of them.
Tanya Harding.
Really? Did you see that movie?
I told you about it. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The mom
I
was
didn't finish
good.
watching it, but Deanna did.
Yeah,
and
that
she
was good.
like, "What's wrong with these people?"
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean, she got a few shows after that, and you know, but she was at the top. She was the first person to do a triple Lutz, whatever it was,
Yeah.
and
But so okay, so Tanya Harding is a good example.
Mm-hmm.
She and Nancy Kerrigan, who is another flawed character,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different story. But you know, so Nancy Kerrigan was starting to, you know, use her for shine. She's coming. She's the new ice skating star.
Mm-hmm. yeah,
And
Tanya
so,
Harding's from the wrong side of the streets.
but not only that, but she saw this girl was taking her shine, you know, because it sounded like Tanya Harding was always one of those who would like the spotlight and all
Yeah.
that. So
The
here comes
underdog.
Nancy. Instead of just upping her game, being Tanya, upping her game, she has a girl clubbed in the knee
Right.
to ruin her career. So it's like, imagine those people who are just like they live and breathe for fame, and they
Yes.
see that's getting snatched from them sometimes. Or, hey, you know what? You're going to be written off the show. Don't worry. You'll find plenty of work somewhere. He's like, bitch, we'll see.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you know, I have to admire Tanya, other than her crime, how she didn't let it really like destroy her. Some people start drinking, you know, to go to drugs.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
you said.
Netflix gave her a movie.
Yeah, well, they gave her a movie later on, but I
Yeah.
mean, she became a professional boxer after they banned her.
Oh,
from
yeah, she kept it
skating.
going, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she did whatever she had to do
Right.
outside of criminality
Right.
to make money for her family and stuff.
Hustler.
And I'm going to give her big props. You know, she's currently married and
Well,
has
I mean,
a son.
I guess I give her props for sustaining herself, but I won't give her props for clubbing.
Oh, no,
somebody
and that's what I'm saying. And no, it's not that. But one thing about America is that we like comeback stories.
Oh, absolutely, regardless of who it is. You know who I'm waiting to see if they're gonna have a comeback story? It's Anthony Weiner.
Oh, yeah, he tried twice now.
He just got out.
Oh, did he?
Oh, he's
Okay.
in a halfway house
Halfway
now.
house, right.
Yeah, so I think got in there yesterday
Okay.
or so. But you
Yeah,
know,
his wife divorced him, didn't she?
oh golly, I don't know. I know they filed for divorce. I
Yeah,
don't know.
if it's
And for you guys
finalized.
who don't know who Anthony Weiner is, he was a disgraced congressman from New York who eventually he first he got caught sexting other women that were legal age, and then after that broke out, and then his wife
ran for
Amadine,
mayor,
whatever,
right, he ran
Hillary
for mayor.
Clinton's whoever she is,
Yeah.
assistant. He was married to her. They, patched everything up, and he named, like you said, he was running for mayor. And then it comes out that he knowingly was
Did it
sexting
again.
a 15-year-old,
Did it again.
and so that's why he ended up doing the jail time this time. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see, to me, if he'll make a comeback, because especially when it comes to them, they don't care.
Yeah, it's just amazing how you could be setback, and you still keep coming. It's like you don't know when to quit.
Rob Lowe is another one. I mean, he was caught in the bed
Right.
with a 15-year-old.
Charlie Sheen.
And he's like, didn't he win an Oscar?
No, he's on Oscar.
He did.
No, he was nominated for an Emmy, but he didn't.
No, it was from, he played,
The West Wing.
No, Charlie Chaplin.
No, that was Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but Rob
Lowe.
Lowe, he came back and he
Rob
had a
Lowe was
comeback
one
too.
of the was one of the original Rat Pack, Pretty Boy in the 80s.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying he had a comeback. He came back. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, he was on The West Wing and got nominated.
So
for a lot
you're
of
right. It
Emmys.
was Robert Downey Jr. who he had to stint with drugs and
12. You know, Charlie Sheen. They keep giving him work.
This fool, I couldn't even drink my water right. It's on the cover of what is it, GQ magazine with women, and he admitted to giving women AIDS.
Yeah. Not
Only
in jail.
in white America.
Not in jail. Not prosecuted. None of that.
Okay.
But if that was Magic Johnson, up under the jail. You know.
I almost spit this water out. I was thinking about a meme I saw. It's obviously Photoshop, but it's a picture of Magic Johnson sitting at
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He's sitting at the blood.
Oh, I saw that one too. Yeah.
He's sitting at the donating blood. Talking about Magic Johnson donates blood, and it's like clearly you can see his head is photoshopped.
Yeah,
but the picture is him going. Like I'm happy it's my duty.
Yes. You know, people have nothing else to do all day, but make up memes and stuff. Yeah, you know, and I do it sometimes too. But,
right.
But speaking of, since we're in this section of yours, we last section we talked about Steve and Monique, but Bernie Sanders has just got into the race. What is your take on that? And now that he's in the race, what rank do you give Kamala? Is she still the front runner?
You know, this is going to be sound kind of cold. But because I read early this morning, because I get up and read every morning just to see what the effery is going around in the world. I was unenthused when I saw it, to be honest with you. I didn't say, "Ooh, shit."
Well, nobody
just...
should be, but what I'm saying is, though, being a person who, is, you know, not that you're a politician because you kind of hang around me, but seeing what has transpired in the Democratic Party, the numbers and stuff. Now that Bernie's in the race, what are your chances of your girl doing it? Being the front runner.
At the polls that I saw earlier, it was a CNN poll, so that's they said that she was third. If Biden got in, she would be third behind him, and then Bernie Sanders would be second behind him. So
now CNN gave her a town hall, and they're going to give Bernie a town hall as well. Now, so you know, you can see there's obviously a push to push Kamala out there.
I think Bernie is going to give her a real good run for her money because we know what happened with the last election. A lot of people wanted Bernie, just didn't get Bernie for a whole host of reasons. Yeah. But I think because we've heard of, so what is it, like 10 people in there now?
Yeah,
at least 10 people running.
10. And then I'll be announcing soon.
Right.
So.
Oh, then shit, they all in trouble if you gonna run.
Yeah, that's it. Burn the house down. Burn it down.
Right. But you only hear, you know, a lot about, and you know, like I said too earlier, you don't even hear nothing about Corey. Like I know you said he's stomping, you know,
in New Hampshire. He's
locally, I guess you will, but he kind of came on the scene and then just faded to black.
A lot of people in politics, when you run and stuff, what it is, it's about getting that money initially.
Oh, for sure.
And then, of course, you're going to drop out.
And then you're going to funnel that money to your mama and them, and then they're going to funnel that shit right back to you.
Just like Maxine, just like Maxine Waters lets her daughter do flyers for her every 2 years.
Right.
That's $800,000 going into her daughter's pocket.
What kind of effing flyers? Some gold-plated flyers? Are the flyers
No. The money is $800,000. It probably cost her $3,000.
I know, but I'm saying, what are these flyers going to do for me? Are they going to sing to me when I get them? I mean, what are they, like magical flyers?
Who knows?
They turn into magical carpets or something. I mean, what do they do?
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying because Kamala is the only woman of color in the race. Okay, but Tulsi Gabbard is Indian.
I mean, to me, at this point... Wait.
Tulsi Gabbard is Indian.
Okay.
Of Indian descent.
All right. They both Indian.
Exactly. Right. So that's a woman of color. So.
Okay, but to me, I think right now as black people, we're not even really tripping on whether you black or not. Because we understood and we woke up from last time banking on... I'm one of those people that always bet on black. With the exception of the politics and stuff that's really detrimental to me. Like if it's boxing, I'm gonna bet on black, and something's not gonna, you know,
UFC bet on black.
Right, directly affect my livelihood, then great. But I think black people have fallen out of the being enamored by, it's black. I gotta have it. I gotta vote. I think we're out of that now.
Right.
We're just, as long, if it's a Martian to bring his purple ass down here and it has a black agenda and that's rallying on behalf of black people specifically, great.
Great. For those of you guys that are listening and don't know, Demetra is show. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, you really need to go and check it out. She's talking the real on there, and she has a lot of big allies. Those of you guys that have heard of the Advise Show, it's one of the bigger black platforms on social media.
I'll go out there to say it's the biggest.
Right.
I mean, he has over 1 million
subscribers.
Subscribers. I mean, it's like, I don't know if any. Okay, no, I'm not. So we're not saying he's the biggest black media outlet out there. What to say? YouTube, I should say,
YouTube.
Out there. He is the biggest that's delivering black news and knowledge out there.
Not
He's
tomfoolery, right?
Not tomfoolery and not the hair care stuff. No shade to the hair care, because I learned a lot of hair care tips from those people. But I'm talking about people who are delivering the opposite side of what we hear mainstream media do. He's giving us like, okay, well, I know what they told you this, but that's a lie because it's really this over here.
Common sense type stuff.
What it says, common sense approach. It says black media with common sense, something like that.
And here's what a lot of people, why I bring that up is because what you're seeing is the black media, the new black media, the real new black media, is there's a confederation of these groups tying each else together. So there was one, this is the second time Phil has kind of roped your show into a video and let his followers say like, look, check this out. She's talking the real whatever. And that's what's happening across the YouTube spectrum, is because we're starting to rope each other's stuff. A good example is on D's show last week, I used a clip of a show that had Monique and Steve in it and put that into the video to kind of keep that message kind of going and saying what we're doing. So that's what's happening, and that's what the establishment media does not like, because everybody now is starting to take a common sense approach and saying, you know what? Yes, she's black or whatever, but what does her record say about her?
Right.
Or him or whatever.
Right.
So, heads up, good heads up to you, because...
well, I just...
and my thing is, I'm going to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But my thing is, for him to even take... Not that he's like the superstar, but...
Well, he is.
There's a lot of platforms on YouTube. For him to even notice this this show in California and say, hey, check this out.
And I always speak from my admiration for Phil and what he does, because, I didn't watch his earlier stuff. I didn't watch it, but it sounds like he, made a transition.
I remember when he had a shower curtain behind him.
Yeah, and I saw the when he did the 1 millionth show and he went to get back to the bathroom, which I thought was awesome. But, to me, Phil is a perfect example of evolution. Because it sounds like he was talking about some, low-hanging stuff when he first got started. And then he evolved and said, hey, let's talk about stuff that matters, that's actually going to help people. And he has thousands of people watching each one of his shows all the time. And so, my motto is, even if it's just one that you reach, but this dude is reaching thousands and millions potentially, with stuff that goes on. Because for those of us who do have TV, you can turn on CNN and Fox News, and we're going to see Jimbo, Ray and Pookie getting hemmed up, or, they doing something silly. But not only does, medias like his outlets feature the flip side of the story, he also features good stuff.
Yes.
Like what's going on in Africa and, those kind of things. And so, Phil is one of the biggest and the best to do it on YouTube as far as black knowledge goes.
Well, keyword was one of the best.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, it was one of the best. And the reason I say that is because when you started your show, and and a lot of people have been asking me about that. When you started your show, what made you start to do the real? Did you see Phil and said, I could do that, or did you just say...
Well, I've always kind of did videos even before I got on YouTube. I was doing them on Facebook.
Wait, what kind? Never mind.
No,
Al, you listening?
No.
Okay, got you.
So I've always done them. But yeah, I would definitely say Phil and the Advise Show is an inspiration. I mean, who doesn't want to be like that? I'm not even speaking about the viewers, because, like I said, if one watches, that's fine. But I'm speaking of, just being able to sit and be in control of your own narrative. Because Dr. Claude Anderson always talks about how we as black people only own less than 3% of the media, which is not a lot to combat the other 97% of just negativity that goes about Black people. So to be in Phil's situation, to have so many viewers listen to him, and another thing I would say about Phil, he's not one of those people who get up there and say, well, what happened was, and he just, he's well versed on what he says, so he gets up there with knowledge and information based for your content.
Yeah, he had that Southern dialect, which is okay.
Yeah, but he's backing up what he's saying. He has videos and stuff. So I think that I know that we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate
to see the template.
Yeah, well, to be able to see the flip side of that, and so I think Phil is the he said the template for other people to say, hey, because I even hear him say a lot. Him, Dr. Claude Anderson. If you guys have media outlets, YouTube, Facebook, and social media, whatever, stop posting nonsense. Stop being divisive. Post stuff that's going to actually help us grow. Stop talking about Black women ain't shit. Black women. Stop doing that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't have a show if I didn't do that.
Well, yeah, but I kill you. But no, really, it's like, so they impress upon the rest of us to be responsible. Because, I mean, like I said, we saw a video of, some older man getting, pushed and harmed. And, especially the Black youth, they think that kind of stuff is funny. And
and we saw the American Gladiators.
Yeah. But so if we don't take the lead, if we don't take the lead and do something different and show, the people who are coming up behind us a different way, then we're no better.
Which is exactly why I kind of brought this point up. You started from like you said, you've already done videos, but remember when I caught on to some of your videos and, and you tagged me in and I said, well, why is she, I mean, you had your little block and you were like going off and, and putting those things out there. And I said, wow, that's a good message.
Right.
And, you finally got on air to do it. And you've been doing this for like 2 years now, or we've been doing it for 2 years in conjunction with your own show. Remember I said you got to have your own show other than the buffoonery of hanging out with me. And your subscribers are big. And, as your producer, it really does me proud when I see that your show is, people are looking at the show. And a lot of comments I get is, when you have your own show or when we have our own show.
Right.
But she's not moving to Houston now. Okay, so, like I said, until Al buys her out, she's under contract with me. So, you really got to take and pat yourself on the back for the job that you do. Because a lot of us really think, well, what I do doesn't matter. It really does.
Oh, no, it absolutely matters. And I thank you for that. And like I always say to people, speaking is my passion and it's my gift. So I proudly walk in my gift. I also teach people how to speak.
Right. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you've come a long way, baby. But so no, that's my passion. And so I just feel like, and I've heard it a million times before. I've actually heard it was Les Brown and Reverend Ike say that the most, I guess you could say, the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. Because a lot of people die with goals, dreams, visions, ideas, inventions, and they never act on it. And to me, I always say, people talk about, oh, you're a sin if you're doing this, you're sin if you're doing that. To me, the biggest sin is to die with unused talents.
Exactly.
That is the biggest sin. And so, as I said earlier, that's my gift and my talent is to communicate. To effectively communicate with people. Listening, I'm still working on it. But so I don't want to waste it. I want to keep that to myself. And because and I both know, I've worked with a lot of people and our people, and not, throw shade on our people, but it hasn't always worked out for me.
Right.
And, I've had people say, well, go work with other people. You know how Black people do. Don't spend your time on them. They don't want to pay. And I've always said, even to my mom when she was leaving the planet, because she died of cancer, I told her, I said, I don't want to use my talent for nobody else but our people. If it doesn't make me rich, then so be it. But at least I don't go to my deathbed 100 years from now with those gifts that I didn't use.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the reason why I bring that up is because I always get these questions and some of the comments, after the Sororos. Like, there are some Sororos that are nice to me, but they usually curse me out because I'm not on Team Kamala. But a lot of them are saying, like, well, I would do what you guys are doing, but I don't know how. Just start like we started.
It takes a phone.
That's it.
I mean, when I was doing, when I first started doing live feeds 3 years ago on Facebook, I was holding the phone. I didn't even have a tripod.
All right.
I was holding this phone for sometimes an hour and a half. And then when I would get done, my arm was just like, oh, shoot, oh, my arm. But I was so in the moment with the passion talking, I didn't even realize that my arm was stuck.
Right.
So the point that I'm making to your point, to piggyback, which is a great point, sometimes you got to start where you are. You know, like Donovan didn't start with a studio.
No, I didn't.
This dude here, and I always like to give Donovan credit, he started at, before Starbucks wasn't cooning and tripping.
Right.
Started at Starbucks. I mean,
Yes.
it was a bunch of us
Podcast.
sitting around the table. They were so janky. Sometimes you hear
Yes.
the wind.
Yeah, it was just-
You hear people talking, oh, my latte didn't come in. When I
Yeah.
my latte.
Hearing the music in the
Yeah,
background.
you hear all that stuff in the background.
Cars pulling up.
Honking, you know, Boom Quisha and them talking about, shut up. You hear all that.
Oh,
And then
man.
one day, he got wind protectors
Yep.
or whatever you
Yeah,
could
it was wind
muffle out
protectors.
the wind. It helped a little bit. Then he said, okay, let me go on and just build the studio up in the house.
No, it was getting cold. We couldn't do the show.
Yeah, it was
out.
cold. We out
raining
there,
and stuff.
you know,
And we're like,
I mean, we sat out there with drizzling a couple times, and so then he got the green screen, and I mean, and then the rest is history.
Got the booms and just put everything
And
together
it's,
piece by
I
piece.
mean, so it really does take just like my mom used to always say, that start with what you have, where you are. It don't, like, I listened to one of the first YouTubers who went really big. I can't think of her name, some Asian girl, but she was a struggling student. Her father left her mom, so the mom couldn't help hardly make ends meet. So she's in college, couldn't pay for the shit. So she said she's in her dorm and she take her iPhone and start talking about makeup. To the point to where L'Oreal offered her a partnership and all sort of
Yes.
stuff. But she said, do you guys know that at one point in time when I was in college, I wouldn't fill out an application to work at the L'Oreal counter, and they told me no. But she says she picked up her phone because she was
Started doing
depressed,
it.
and the rest is millions and millions of dollars in history. But she started with her iPhone.
Right, and think about this. You don't necessarily have to be on a platform to do a podcast. In your phone, there's a recording thing. there.
Right. Yeah.
So you just start that, talk about what you're going to talk about, and then upload it on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, and if you're going to pick up your phone to film a fight, hell, pick up your phone and film something that we can use.
Right.
Not something that's going to be a detriment to our race, because we have enough of the, excuse my French, I know a lot of people take exception to this, but we have enough nigga shit going on in our community. But if you're going to pick up the phone and, watch somebody doing something silly, pick it up to say, hey, you guys, you know what, this is how we need to, get along in the world. Let's not do stuff silly. Let's, get some businesses. Let's get off the block, or while we on the block and while we sitting up there shooting the breeze, let's talk about us getting our money together and putting some business,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So, to your point, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hell,
Yeah,
some of the
you don't
videos you see on YouTube is like,
Very generic.
yeah.
Very generic. And
So-
and so it's not impossible to start taking that 3% of the media that we control and expand it into the social media to where we could control a
Right.
significant amount of percentage of that area to where we can change the way Black people are perceived in the media.
And to your point, I mean, Black media is starting to take off to the tune of, you have people like Joy Reid and Angela Rye and all these people who are on CNN and MSNBC and all that other stuff. They're calling us bots.
Right.
Russian bots.
Russian
Oh,
bots.
there's no way those people aren't
Those black-
real.
yeah.
How insulting. Like, Black people are so slow and that we couldn't together form a thought that works.
Right.
Or that goes against the establishment. How dare those Russian Negro bots, go against this. No, we are very real. We are very real.
And we're
Like
making
one
a
of my
difference.
favorite quotes is, real or not, make it motherfucking hot. Okay,
Yes.
whatever it is you do, okay?
Exactly.
Make it hot.
And here's a funny thing too. I sent you that link. There was a show that looked oddly familiar to what we do.
Oh, you said
You see that one?
I did, and I did.
And I laughed because
Yeah.
I laughed, but I was kind of happy at the same time. And I sent
Yeah.
him a message. I said, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Because the greatest form of flattery is imitation.
If that's what they were doing,
Right.
I don't know if that's
No,
what
no,
they
no.
were
He's
doing.
probably doing his own platform.
Oh, yeah.
Because he probably didn't even know that we were out there like that.
Right,
And
yeah.
I saw him. I said, "Wow, that's kind of he has this loudmouth black woman. I got no." I'm messing with it, but it's on the same platform type
Right.
stuff. The difference is maybe he hasn't got to the video part yet. I mastered a little bit of the videos and did a
Right.
little bit of that, but that's what we need to start doing, and you just start from where you're at, like you
Right.
said.
Absolutely.
So that's how you do it. So we got a minute left. You guys don't forget we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio. The Demetra K Show is on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys want to hear and talk to her in real time, I have mastered the Spreaker with an R chat list. If you want to join the conversation, you can do that way. And we're just moving on up as things are getting better and better and better. So I just wanted to let everybody know, because I get a lot of questions like that. Well, how did you guys start? This woman started when she first started doing her podcast, just with her friends.
Yeah, and even before that, remember I went viral, if you will, with the video that was talking about boycotting Christmas and all of that,
all that
Black
stuff.
Friday.
But, now you're getting videos 10,000 plus, 5,000 people looking on live, which is, kind of weird, but we're getting it. So
we're getting there. But, thanks to you as well. I mean, none of that would be possible to the tune that it is without you. So
that's it.
There it is.
So we'll see you guys again next week. Don't believe the hype.
Peace.